Hi, everyone. How are you? I am Lana Quest, and this is the Quest Show. I haven't been here in a week or maybe even 2 weeks. I'm not sure. The schedule gets busy sometimes, and sometimes you just need a little bit of a break. Let's see. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. But I am here today. So there's a lot. There's a lot here to talk about, but before we get started, I'm going to ask you to please thumbs up this video. Yeah, thumbs up the video before you see the video. It's okay. We need it. We need it here. So thumbs up the video, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so whenever I come on, you're there with me, So we're going to get through all of the nonsense together, and there's a lot going on. Like I was just here writing notes, and I'm like, is this ever going to be over? I know it was hard for Cory Booker to speak for 25 hours, but I do know that there was a lot to talk about. He probably could have stood there if his body would have cooperated for 1 week and talk about the nonsense that's going on with this administration. But here we are, MAGA thought this is what we needed. So this is where we are, enjoying the fruits of MAGA's labor, I guess. So the title of this show is, Are We There Yet? And that's my question because, leading up to this week, you had analysts, journalists, and everyone's going, we're nearing a constitutional crisis. We're almost at a constitutional crisis. If he keeps it up, we're going to be at a constitutional crisis. My question is, are we there yet? Are we at a constitutional crisis? You don't have to answer that because I know the answer. We were at a constitutional crisis the minute that MAGA decided that this guy needed to be elected again. We were at a constitutional crisis the minute that some voters were like, yeah, I don't want a woman as president. We were at a constitutional crisis when some voters were like, I definitely don't want a Black woman to be president. We were at a constitutional crisis when people did not know what they were voting for and were cheering for tariffs. So we've been at a constitutional crisis. People who sat home, you were like, all of this contributed to where we are today. And where we are today is a sunken place. And normally I can find lights at the end of the tunnel. I'm that gal. We're going to be okay. That is who I am. And deep down, I know we are going to be okay. But we are in for this is not going to be a bumpy ride. This is going to be a ride where people are hurt. This is going to be a ride where people die. This is going to be a ride where people are jailed, where people lose their rights, where people lose money, where people go bankrupt, where people commit suicide. That's going to be this ride. So I can't describe the ride that we're going to be on for the next few years as bumpy. It's going to be a dangerous ride. I can't even say buckle up because I don't think anything is going to prepare us to where we're going to go. Because already every day that we wake up, there's just a new low and there's just a new bottom. And those of us that knew who Donald Trump was from the first administration, who remembered how he was then, how ghoulish, how piggish, how he let people die, how he led, how racist he was, how bigoted he was, how misogynist he was. Like those of us who remember, we knew that this was going to be like very bad. We knew that if they were putting children in cages during the first administration and separating them from their parents as a policy, and we were all outraged, right? Everyone was outraged. Even Republicans were outraged, like, Republican voters. All right, wait a minute, right? Like that was a little much for them when they found out that separating children from their parents was an actual policy. And not only did they separate children from their parents, they're like, we don't know where they are now. We didn't keep track of them. File what? Nothing in that first administration, and I'm someone who pays attention to everything, could have prepared me. Like I knew we were going here, right? Like just knew because we had Project 2025. So we knew that this was going to happen. But it's the extent of it. Like it's the inhumanity, right? Like it's hard to put it in words because it's all feelings of what we're getting right now, right? Like we knew on paper what Project 2025 was. We heard him talk about some of these things, but like just to see it play out and to feel it and to hear the stories is a whole different other story. So that was my introduction, and that was long, and I am sorry, but here we go. Yes, we are in a constitutional crisis. Monday, the felon in chief, or the orange ogre, as I like to call him, or the orange orangutan, I don't know, take your pick, had the El Salvadorian president Nayib Bukele at the White House. I don't know how many dictators the White House is going to need to see. I don't know how many dictators like Trump's going to invite, but apparently if you're a dictator, Trump wants you to be at the White House because he wants to take photos with you and conversate. So that is what's going on there. So they had Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, who is a self-proclaimed dictator himself. And that is why Trump likes him, right? Because he says that he is a dictator. So, he's a dictator, so he's got to be there. Also, he is the guy that our tax dollars are going to. Yeah, $6 million of our money, mine, yours out there, MAGA, yours too, is going to the El Salvadorian president so that he can take people that this administration deports and put them in his notorious prison. So, Kilmar Garcia is still in that prison. We think, right? Because we really don't even know if he's alive because his counsel has not been able to get in contact with him, talked to him, get any pictures, nor has his wife. Here's the problem. And we know this, right? Because I guess I don't know, maybe I'm talking to Mac out here because I have to reiterate and go over what's going on, which is fucking nonsense, because we all know that he shouldn't be in a prison in fucking El Salvador, nor should the hairdresser, the gay hairdresser that's over there, or the other people who are over there, because we've come to find out that like 70+% of the people that Trump put on a plane and sent over there committed no crimes, right? But he does the thing because the crime was actually them having the audacity to seek asylum in America, or having the audacity to have like work visas, or the audacity to like going through the court process to become citizens. Like they had the audacity to do that and have, be a brown person, because that is why they're there. But oh no, that's not what they say. Kilmar he's a criminal. He's a terrorist. He's a gang banger. I don't know. They're just making shit up. But let's let Stephen Miller tell it, because as you see, Stephen Miller, he's fucking drooling. He's probably got a hard on because he loves this shit. He's a fucking Nazi through and through. He loves it. Remember him? America is for Americans. That's Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is the guy who got giddy putting those children in cages and not giving them toothpaste and soap. So watch his face as he talks about Kilmar. Just watch all of them.
Which is, I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, and the Supreme Court said the district court order was unlawful, and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador.
Lies, fucking lies, fucking lies, fucking lies, fucking lies. I can't even ignore the fucking gaudy gold in that room. What the fuck is going on in that room? Does he think he's friggin' Saddam Hussein? What is all of that shit? Looks like gold urns. Like what? That room is crazy right now. So let me try to ignore the room and ignore stupid Marco Rubio going, yeah, you're right. You're so right. He's lying. Kilmar did go to court on suspicion of, I don't know, I think being a gang member, but they decided that he wasn't because someone had put some type of anonymous tip that he was with some faction of MS-13? I don't even know. MS-3, MS-13, whatever the fuck it is, the faction that's in New York. He's never been to New York, never lived in New York, so it was thrown out. He's not a gang member. Now, because he and his wife had issues, he's a bad person. Like, none of it makes sense. And what Miller is doing is lying because the Supreme Court said facilitate him coming back. That's what they said, all of them across the board. So I don't know what the fuck this little guy with the small dick is talking about, but let's let him continue to talk. Let's just let Miller continue to talk.
Who, again, is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric...
Where's the proof? Where's the proof that Kilmar has done any of these things? He doesn't have a record in El Salvador, and he doesn't have a criminal record here.
activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan...
This is ridiculous. Dehumanization. making Kilmar the other. He has an autistic son. He has a wife. He is a family man. I would rather him living next to me than Donald Trump, the real person who has been found liable of sexual assault, also known as rape. That guy with the 34 felonies. But let's let Miller talk. Just let him talk. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Eve.
The Supreme Court is asking to...
Oh, sorry.
And the Supreme Court said the district court order was unlawful and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador, who again is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan to ask for...
If Stephen Miller was my neighbor, I would move right away because he looks like some freaky troll. Now, Bukele said, oh no, I'm not going to bring him. I cannot bring him back because if I bring him back, that means I'll be smuggling him into America. Trump goes, oh no, he says he's not going to bring him back. What do you want us to do? This was planned. President Bukele, being in that golden Oval Office or whatever maybe that's not the Oval Office. I don't know what that is. What can y'all just tell me where they were in the White House? Because I know that room is not supposed to be gold like that. Anyway, that was planned that Bukele comes because Trump does not want to release, to get that guy. So he had Bukele come here to say specifically what he said. I can't do it. What do you want me to smuggle him back? How is he going to get back? Just imagine how fucking cruel you have to be to lie and use that family man as a scapegoat, doing nothing but minding his fucking business. We all understand across the board that the president has the right to revoke like green cards, working visas. Like he can do all of that. He can deport asylum seekers. He absolutely can. But what you cannot do is not give people their day in fucking court, also known as due process. So if you don't know what due process means, it means a day in court. You can't just pick someone off the fucking street and put them on a plane and send them to El Salvador. You can't do that. They're fucking out of control. And you know why they're out of control? Because they're pissed off because Biden's numbers were actually higher in deportation at this time. And he was doing it the right way, going through the court process. Trump does not want to go through the court process. He wants the numbers. That is why they're emailing American citizens saying you must leave the country, because it's just everybody. Anyone with a last name Fernandez, Garcia, like they're probably just AI is just searching for those names and just sending fucking people emails saying leave the country. The shit is crazy. They're picking them up from hearings to become citizens. He's going, nope, we don't want you here. People who have been here for 20 years. People who have been here for 10 years. Oh, you committed a crime. What was the crime? A fishing problem, like a fishing citation. Jaywalking. That's the crime. You gotta go. What the fuck? Why? What? How can anyone think this is normal? MAGA don't even think that this is normal. And we're going to get to that because it's asinine. The only people, because there's a difference in MAGA, right? It's like you have the hardcore cult. You have, okay, we'll do this. Cult MAGA and regular MAGA, right? Cult MAGA, they don't care because they're too stupid to fucking understand that if you send all the immigrants back, who's going to clean the office buildings? Because that's a job that Americans think they're too good to do. Immigrants are happy to do that, happy to have a job, happy to pay into Social Security. that they don't draw from. Who's going to do that? Who's going to work on the farms? Pick the fruits and vegetables. Who's going to do Trump's landscaping at Mar-a-Lago? So let's hear what racist ass Jesse Waters has to say about Kilmar. Like it kills me to have to play these, but we have to play these because we need to know what they are saying. And this is like the MAGA cult. This is what they're ingesting, and this is why they're so in. Like it's not normal. Just now watch and tell me what you notice about Jesse Waters. Just let me know. Exactly. They don't want us. I'm just reading Michelle's thing. They don't want to bring them back her comment because they don't want us to know what's really going on in El Salvador. My heartbreak. Exactly. That too. How can they bring Kilmar back here alive? Like, how can they do that? Because now he can tell what's going on, like Michelle just said. So this is awful. And I hope at some point, I hope he gets out of that prison, right? Just release him in El Salvador and let him find friends or family members, because they keep saying he's not coming back to America. Just let him out of the prison, because why is he in prison? It's like, why is he in prison? Where is the evidence? Why is this man in a prison? What did he do? Wear a Chicago Bulls hat? Let's see.
It's a tortilla blood vendetta tortilla shop. And his lawyers say if he gets sent back to El Salvador, he's a dead man.
So that's why he's here on asylum, because his family member, from what I understand, they have some type of bakery or store or something. And it was getting, the shakedown, because that is what happens. That is what happens. It's been happening for eternity, and it's definitely going to happen in El Salvador, that you have to pay the gang so that you can operate your business, right? So if Kilmar was trying to help his family member, that puts a target on Kilmar's back. So Kilmar has to seek asylum because they're going to kill him. But Jesse Waters, it's just so funny. Everything is funny. Life is not. Who cares about their life? They're not white. They treat the J6ers better than this. Some people we saw come with a noose. People we saw fucking screaming, "Where is Nancy?" We saw the violence. They beat police. They pardoned them, right? Pardon those people. And we saw some of the people that they pardoned. One is dead because he was shooting at the cops. And I think another one was raping somebody, right? So those guys got the pardon. But Kilmar, because he wore a fucking hat and had an autism tattoo, he's the fucking problem.
It's a tortilla blood vendetta. Seriously.
In a hoodie.
Garcia's a Bulls fan, but he's from El Salvador. And he lives in Maryland, not Chicago. The Bulls lost.
So he must be a gang member because he's from El Salvador, lives in Maryland, and he has a Chicago Bulls hat on.
60 games in 2019. So why the hat? Can Garcia name anyone on the team? Anyone on any Bulls team besides Jordan? Everyone from El Salvador knows what it means when you wear a Bulls hat. It means you're MS-13.
No, it doesn't, you motherfucker. No, the fuck it doesn't. Have you all ever seen like videos coming out of like Ghana or South Africa, or even like small villages in, the continent of Africa? I'm not going to go through all the countries in Africa, but like the small villages there, you'll see kids with Celtics jerseys on. So what does that mean, right? Like, Chicago Bulls is a dynasty team. Like, I would wonder why they would have, like, if it's some random the Pelicans or something. Like, no, it's in Chicago. Who doesn't know Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen? Like, who doesn't know that team? That's just wild that he's going, everybody knows that if you're from El Salvador and you have a Chicago Bulls hat on, you've got to be in MS-13. Because Jesse Waters, look at him. He's the authority. He knows, chef's kiss.
When you're in Compton, you don't accidentally wear red and say, oh, I didn't know red was Bloods. If you're a Latin American illegal alien in Maryland, you don't accidentally wear Chicago Bulls gear and hang around with high-ranking gangsters from MS-13.
So, I'm going to say this. Just because you have a Chicago Bulls hat on does not mean you're a member of MS-13. And just because you're not wearing your Klan hood does not mean you're not a racist. Take that to the bank. So something else happened. I promise I'm gonna move on from this in a little while, but it's just big. But something else happened too, because there was a hot mic. If I can find it. There was a hot mic, and Donald Trump said what we have been saying, right? If you are not outraged by the Trump regime grabbing people off the street, basically kidnapping them and human trafficking them, and paying someone $6 million to hold innocent people, just guilty because they're here trying to seek a better life. How long is it before he does that with Americans? I tried to tell you that this was coming. I'm going to let Brian Baez tell you if I can find his video. Hold 1 second, guys. Oh, no, wrong video. Give me 1 minute because I can't see. Is it this one? No. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I swear I'll get it. No, that's not it. Did I not put him up here? I thought I did. Salvadore. Ugh. I'm sorry, everyone. I pretend like I'm organized, but apparently I am not, because I thought I had that video.
You gotta build about 5 more places.
Oh, yeah, this is it. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. I found it. Hold on. Here we go. This is Brian Baez telling you exactly what I just told you, that Trump was caught on the hot mic saying the thing that we knew was going to happen once he's allowed to just pick people up off the street and ship them to El Salvador and pay. It's going to be a thing, right? Stephen Miller said, America is for Americans, right? Racist, white supremacists, white nationalists, they don't even think America belongs to Native Americans. They don't think America belongs to indigenous, right? They don't. They think America belongs to whites. That's what they think. So if they think like that, who do you think they're going to be shipping off next to El Salvador? Y'all can guess. Put your guesses in the chat. Pretty sure you know. But listen to Brian Baez tell you.
I had a motherfucking tinfoil hat on and I was a fucking conspiracy theorist. Do y'all remember when I said this shit?
Listen to me carefully. There is a private agreement being created right now between Trump and El Salvador's president to create an encampment in Salvador to deport U.S. citizens.
Oh, that can't happen here. We're America. We have a constitution. We have laws. We have judges. Yeah. You dumb bitches.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're open to deporting individuals that aren't foreign aliens, but are criminals, to El Salvador. Does that include potentially U.S. citizens fully naturalized?
Yeah, that is.
Oh.
Why do you think there's special category of persons?
Oh.
They're as bad as anybody that comes in. We have bad ones.
Oh, no, but that's not enough. Donald Trump is also on hot mic telling El Salvador's president what?
Yeah, I said homegrowns are next. The homegrown. It's built. You got to build about 5 more places.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
They laugh. They're laughing. Why is this not alarming? They're laughing. He whispered over there to him. He's like, yeah, you're going to have to build, 5 more places. We're going to send the bad ones over there to you. He's like, oh, we got room. Right? Who's the bad ones? Whoever Trump goes eeny, meeny, miny, mo, the black guy? Those are the bad ones? We told you guys. We fucking told you. It's your fault. Not just MAGA. MAGA gonna be MAGA. MAGA cult gonna be fucking MAGA cult. They're dumb. We've established that. They just don't want to know. They don't want to learn. They don't care to learn. He can tell them anything. They're going to listen to their orange daddy. But the rest of you that just couldn't bother to get up. I can't be bothered today. Blacks for Trump. He's a businessman. This motherfucker is talking about sending Americans or his adversary, or the reporters or journalists or Democratic lawmakers or anyone who speaks bad about him to El Salvador. This is who's stopping him. Y'all created this fucking monster. This shit started, and it didn't just start with this last election. This shit started when Obama was president and we lost the midterms because your motherfuckers who said, oh, I'm such a political junkie, right? Voted for Obama because you wanted to be like, it was cool. It was the thing to do. And then midterms came, and then all of the political junkies fucking went to sleep and didn't come out and vote, and then gave fucking Republicans just in Congress just gave it to him. Now Obama can't do shit, and then you blame him for not being able to do anything. He tried to do what he did, and he there were things that he did, but he couldn't solidify a lot of the fucking things. And then in comes Trump. Supreme Court. This is gone. We lost the Supreme Court. This is done. I don't even know what to say. But again, like I said, we have the MAGA cult, and then we have MAGA. So what's starting to happen is there's becoming a breakthrough of MAGA, right? There are MAGA who go, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. Wait, you just took this guy and he didn't go to court, and you just sent him in. Even they know something's wrong with that. And in Ruby Red, Iowa, Chuck Grassley, who's the oldest living senator, he had a town hall, which is a surprise, in Iowa. And let's listen to his constituents. I think this is the video. Hold on, let me go back.
El Salvadore. Why not?
Well, because that's not a power of Congress.
The Supreme Court said to bring him back.
Yeah, but
Trump don't care.
Ever feel like your neck is
Don't care. Trump don't care, right? I don't know if you heard the whole thing, but Chuck Grassley is having the town hall, and the guy goes, are you going to bring Kelmar, Garcia back from El Salvador? And Chuck Grassley's like, oh, well, it's not Congress's job, right? And he's like, well, the Supreme Court said that Trump has to bring him back. And then they said, Trump don't care. And everybody's like, yeah, bring him back. Because it's getting through. Even if Jesse Waters, right? right here. I don't know. Look at this video. Look at Jesse Waters. And I forgot. Look at this picture. They could not, you know how Fox News is, right? They find the most menacing picture that they could. With Kilmar, they couldn't. They couldn't find pictures of him holding an automatic weapon. They couldn't find pictures of him doing gang signs. They couldn't find pictures of him with his supposed hanging out with gang members, right? Like they couldn't find any of those pictures. Why? Because it's not true. Every picture that they have shown, pay attention to this. Go to Fox News. Every picture that they show of Kilmar, that one right there that I just showed you, his kid is like blurred out because that's a picture of him with his kid, because all the pictures are him with his fucking family. Putin fired some missiles the other day. 34 dead in Ukraine, northeastern Ukraine. So much for the ceasefire. Trump said it was a mistake. It's funny. Putin didn't say it was a mistake. Trump said it was a mistake. So, there's that. Trump also, sorry for all the Trump news, but that's just where the fuck we are right now. Just Trump news, Trump shit. Trump is withholding federal funding from Maine because his fields are hurt because apparently Maine has 2 trans athletes. Fucking 2. I hate to even talk about this because it's not worth talking about. It's fucking stupid. Now, let me just say this. Personally, right? There needs to be some type of laws, or there has to be a discussion with trans athletes, trans women, because there is an unfair advantage because men are stronger, like in certain events. Let's just be real about that. That's real. So there has to be a conversation about that, right? Because you do want sports to be fair. You just do. So I get that part. But the other part is, why the fuck are you withholding funding? Like, it's just ridiculous, right? Have the conversation. Back up. Just back up. If someone truly cared about this issue, right, and truly had questions about it, then you would sit down with the Maine governor and you would go, okay, these are my concerns. What can we do? That's how the fuck you handle shit, right? 2 trans athletes in the whole state. You now are pissed about that. That means that you don't fucking care about the sport. You don't care about the other girls in the sport. What you're doing is you hate trans. That is an attack on trans. You don't give a fuck about nothing else. And we already know you don't care about women because we know what you're doing with women and taking their choices away. So stop playing that fucking game. So because the governor fought back, right, saying, listen, because what they're trying to say is Maine is doing things that is against the law with having trans women in women's sports. So whatever the fuck they're trying to say. So now he's pissed off because she spoke back and he's going to withhold funding from Maine. Again, this is how you know he don't give a fuck. He just wants to punish. That is Trump's jam. Melania don't do it for him. Nothing does it for him. All he wants to do is punishment, exact revenge. That is what gets him off. That's it. Seeing people squirm, being a fucking bully because he's really a punk ass bitch in real life, and you know it. Because who the fuck gets mad at a state because of 2 trans athletes, withholds funding from the state so that now children can't get like their free meals, the after school programs, all these different things. Now you're just hurting people. Like the mentality, it just doesn't make sense, right? That's why they're making excuses, and MAGA just falls for this shit, because this is not about these athletes in the sports, right? It's about, we hate the LGBTQ community, and we hate trans even more. So that's all that is. Also, the Maine governor embarrassed him. So now we have to punish the whole state, and we're just going to withhold funding, because that's just what the fuck he does. So just know that if you're in a supposed blue state, like I am in a blue state, he hates our state. He hates Massachusetts. I already know. It is funny because I tell my friends, family, listen, don't be surprised if taxes get raised in Massachusetts. Do not blame our governor, because if taxes are raised in Massachusetts, it's because we have to cover the federal funding that the orange ogre is withholding, right? If it's withholding federal funding that we use to help our children in school and have handicapped access, again, and free lunch and free suicide prevention hotlines and all this other stuff, if this ogre is withholding that, we have to pay for it some kind of way. So taxes may have to go up, because they're going to need to find the money that fucking punk ass bitch is holding. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, so that's what's going on in Maine. There's just so much. There's just so much more. I was going to play the Kristi Noem propaganda photo op, but I'm just not going to do that. I just cannot. Remember the Hurricane Helene? And remember Biden was the president during Hurricane Helene, and Trump went down to North Carolina, and he was like, President Biden doesn't care about you. He's not even here. Right, because presidents normally don't go into a disaster area right away, because they don't want to take the resources away from on the ground. So they hold off and let the state pull it together before they come to visit, but they sign off on all the disaster relief and FEMA. But remember that orange ogre went to North Carolina, posed with people in front of boarded up shops, and telling the people you can't trust that FEMA. If you take them FEMA checks, they gonna come back. You gotta pay that back. They're gonna take your house if you take them FEMA checks. Just telling the people of North Carolina not to fucking take FEMA checks. So then, of course, again, MAGA cult. You got the MAGA cult I don't need no FEMA. I'll just be hungry. I know I got water damage and mold growing up the walls and down the ceiling. I think there's mold on my leg too. But I'm not taking that FEMA check, because they're going to take my house. It's like, dude, your house has fucking mold. That's just, and you're hungry. I don't understand. It makes no sense. But that is what he did. So now, right? But Biden, gave them the money, right? But Trump wanted to work against them, right? Don't trust FEMA. FEMA had to stop going door to door because fucking MAGA was shooting at them, telling them to get off their property. Again, your fucking roof is gone, but you're like, I don't need your help. Donald Trump's gonna help me. Trump's gonna help me. Oh, okay. Let's fast forward to currently, today. Let's see what Trump is doing to help. Let's see. North Carolina asked to have the reimbursement period extended, basically FEMA aid, that period to be extended, because they're still working on rebuilding areas of North Carolina. Trump said no. Mic drop. I don't know. What do you do now? What the fuck do you do now? He said no. He said no, North Carolina. I'm not extending your FEMA. You get nothing. You should have fucking rebuilt while Biden was still here. Like, imagine that shit. Hello, and I kid you not. Pretty sure that you can still go into North Carolina and talk to the MAGA cult, and the guy probably still got the mold all over the house that didn't take the FEMA, and you say, well, Trump's not gonna, he's not helping anyone, and the guy's gonna be like, well, Trump's a businessman. He know what he's doing. Hi, baby Juggernaut. Exactly. They would still vote for him. It's insane. Let's see. Oh, y'all are gonna love this next one. This is never gonna end. This is not ever gonna end. Okay, this was funny for a lot of reasons, but I'm just gonna let y'all be amused by it, as well as we're talking about the MAGA cult who will follow Trump off a cliff. He would march to the cliff, he would stop, order them to keep going, and they would keep going. So this is what this reminds me of. Hold 1 second. So let me help y'all out. These are MAGA. See all the flags, because it's just so patriotic. Gotta love the MAGA. And they are protecting Elon's Teslas. MAGA, I'll say it again, in their trucks are at a Tesla dealership blocking it because nobody's gonna burn these Teslas. No one's gonna write on these Teslas. There's not gonna be no fires here today. We are going to protect that immigrant. Oh, he an immigrant? Well, he the good kind of immigrant. We're gonna protect Elon's Teslas. Rockin' Tesla. Look at him.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They can't even afford the Teslas that they're protecting. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. Protect them Teslas. Meanwhile, the people that may want to buy a Tesla can't get in. But yeah, we protecting the Teslas that we can't afford. We're protecting Elon's Teslas, and Elon makes $8 million a day in government contracts, but we are protecting his stuff because we don't know why, but we know that he hates blacks and the browns, and he's just, he's our guy because he's Trump's guy. Yeah, we protect, that's the nonsense. Can't afford a Tesla. Elon called MAGA subtards. He thinks you're stupid. Elon is firing Americans and laughing about it. And they're like, we're going to protect them Teslas. But let this preacher break it down a little better than I can. So let's let him talk about it.
To buy any car, I refuse to put my money in any place that makes the thief wealthy.
I refuse to put my money in any place that makes the thief wealthy. MAGA! What the frick? What the hell? You donated and donated and donated and donated to that orange ogre. He can't even extend FEMA to North Carolina. Groceries? He ain't talked about that shit because he don't care about your groceries. He cares about tax cuts for his friends. let's let the preacher talk. Sorry.
To buy any car that's going to make an immigrant who doesn't even pay taxes one of the wealthiest men in the nation. I refuse. I don't know who I came to preach to today, but the word of the Lord to somebody today: stop funding your own oppression. Stop investing in your own demise. Stop spending money in the destruction of your own people.
MAGA, it's like he's talking to you. Stop funding your own oppression. You literally gave Donald Trump the fucking pennies. Like all of you just ate all of your money. He's giving you fucking $60 Bibles that you can fucking get for free. His gold fucking sneakers, Trump water, Trump University, where he fucking scammed young people and the elderly. What else does he give? Trump steaks. Like just Trump shit, Trump Bitcoin. Buy all my bit. Like y'all are nuts because you are funding your own oppression. Because right now he don't give a fuck about the tariffs, right? He don't care. Y'all thought he was joking. I watched you at the rallies. Trump would have a rally and he start tariffs. Tariffs are such a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful word, those tariffs. And MAGA like, yeah, tariffs. Now listen to MAGA.
Is directly being affected by the 104% tariff that has been put on China. I import alloy wheels for cars, and I do somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 containers a year, which is a small business in regards to this industry. At 104%, I am absolutely going to implode and will not last 6 months. So with that said, I'm asking, is there anybody out there that has connections with manufacturing facilities, specifically alloy wheels, either in the United States or outside in these lesser tariffed countries like Mexico, Indonesia, Thailand, India? I need to find another source. I've emailed a lot of these companies and cannot get a response. And I just don't know if it's because I'm a small business or what exactly it is. So if anybody's out there that can help or shed some light, maybe provide some information that would be helpful, I would really greatly appreciate it, because if not, it's just a small business here that's going to go under, and I'll be back to digging ditches again, which I'm not scared to do, but it's a little harder to do with a wife, 2 kids, and at 45 years old. So let me know if you guys have any suggestions. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.
I have a suggestion. Next time, don't fund your own oppression. You voted for him. He told you that tariffs were a beautiful word. He said he was going to do that. What? That was like the most Googled word after the election, after he won. What are tariffs? Tariffs are taxes. What do you think? You cannot raise the price on China, tariffs at 140%. What do you think is going to happen to all of the things that we get from China? They're going to be raised, right? Trump knew that. Like the friggin' economy's been in free fall, up, down, up, down, up, down. Guess when it wasn't like that? Under Biden. But now it's a fucking roller coaster because everything is unsteady. You got Range Rovers, shipments of Range Rovers, shipments of, different cars that they sent back because they're like, we don't know what to charge people because we don't know what the tariffs are going to be because of the fucking idiot in the White House playing games. Because this is what this is. He wants people, he gets off when people bend the knee. That is his jam. Tariffs are taxes. He doesn't care about manufacturing, but because he uses things to get MAGA on the hook because MAGA can't think past their nose, right? They think to here, and then they can't think any further. Thinking stops past their nose. It's over with, right? So, to them, he's sticking it to all the people, but he wants, it's America first. He's going to have manufacturing here in America. That's why he's doing the tariffs. No, he's not. Because if that was the case, why is he now making deals? Why is he saying, well, if China calls me, we can make a deal? How is making a deal bringing manufacturing to America? Because that is the hook. He's not bringing manufacturing to America because it's not that fucking easy. That's not how that works. Where's he going to put 20,000 manufacturing? Who's investing in a manufacturing company? Like one. Let's just say one, for instance. One. Let's say one manufacturing company, right? For the iPhone. Mind you, it would be $3,000 if we made it here. But let's say one company. Who's investing in that company, right? Because after he's not president anymore, there's a thought that things may change and it may go back to the way they were. So who would invest? What investor is going to invest billions of dollars in a manufacturing company where people are going to get things someplace else for cheaper? They're not doing it. Do you know how many investors you would have to bring all of manufacturing back to America? It's impossible, right? Because we've already explained this piece to you. And if you don't understand, pay close attention. You have an iPhone. You don't make the whole iPhone in one place. Everything is separate. Everything, the screen, everything is different places before it gets here. This is how we keep the prices low. People with businesses here are now suffering, right? Because even with China, a lot of designers have their clothes sewn in China or India. They're going to have to raise the price of the clothing, of the designer clothing. Who here in America is going to be double hand stitching these things, right? Because a lot of this stuff is very technical, right? Like you just think sewing, blah, blah. No, it's like certain stitches. Like if you watch designer shows and stuff like that, you would know that, their clothes, even like purses and Coach bags, right? How they come with the authenticity tag, right? Like you can't just make those, like they're made differently. So they do that. What are we going to bring that back to America? We're going to have like people sewing in factories here. Who's doing that? Who's doing it? Who? You're just sending the immigrants away. So who's going to do all of that? And then on the flip side, China buys like soybeans from our farmers, right? There are other countries that get certain things from America. Guess what they're doing? They're not buying them now. So our farmers are struggling. A lot of them voted for Trump. So, hey, that's what you get because that's what the frick you asked for. What did you think? Oh, we're going to bring manufacturing back here? How? We have tourism is down. People in Canada that normally just come across the border to Maine, they're not coming. People from other countries, people from Europe are not coming. They're not going to come. And what you're not going to see the impact right away, not this month, not next month, but over the summer, they're going to see that like Disney World and Disneyland, those sales are going to go down because people from other countries, they're not coming. And they're not coming not because, he put some tariffs. Like that's not how that was. It's because he's widely disrespectful, right? Like he's treating our allies like enemies. So instead of saying, hey, I think that the tariffs aren't fair, and let's be diplomatic about this. I think America's getting the short hand of the stick here, China, because we know what China does. do it like that and negotiate. He came off like, I'm giving you all tariffs. First, it was because of fentanyl and human trafficking, like all these fucking excuses. And like then he tariffed a penguin somewhere. Like it was just nonsense on its face. Because you have to really think about everything that Trump is doing. He's doing it for a reason. Yeah, a couple of reasons. One is like he wants to be a dictator. He didn't lie. He told us. He said dictator on day one. He said that. And that's what he's doing. He is being a dictator by trying to break down all of the law firms, by trying to break and destroy all of the colleges and telling them what to do, what to think, how to think. That's what Putin does. That's how Putin runs Russia. That is what Trump wants to do. The other piece, where does the money from the tariffs go? Right? He keeps saying, oh no, you guys are going to get it. Maybe, with all that money. And he came out and lied. I think I heard him say like they've gotten in $3 trillion. I could be wrong on that figure because I'm not going to say I heard it properly. But I know that he just threw out a lie today about how much money he's getting in tariffs, which he's freaking lying. But whatever he does get in tariffs or did get, where do you think that money is going? It's going to the tax cuts for his wealthy friends. But he keeps MAGA, again, because MAGA only thinks to here, like just right here. And he's telling them there may not be any income tax. These tariffs, they're going to pay for taxes. And then the government won't tax you anymore. MAGA. Come on, that just doesn't even make any sense. Like the government's got to run. You got to get taxed. You got to pay your taxes. And everybody in America, nobody's paying taxes. Like that's not even sustainable. Like MAGA, think past your nose. I'm just gonna ask you, start thinking past your nose because you're really being stupid right now. So that takes me to the next. Let me see what videos I have next. Oh, okay. Hold on. So let's see, where are we? Right. So as I was saying, I'm sorry, MAGA doesn't think past their nose. And if you don't believe me, I have proof of how far MAGA thinks. You saw it here first.
Almost everybody I know of that went to college is a Biden supporter.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how everybody is a Biden supporter if you just went to college. So what are they teaching in this college? Are they teaching anything?
Stuff like inclusivity and respecting other people, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, woke.
Yeah, wokeness, yeah.
Right. That's MAGA. Like, that's all of MAGA. That's them. And that segues me to Harvard University. So Trump, of course, has, well, I guess he started with Columbia maybe and had them like bend the knee because he's like, okay, so you know how he has to use everything like, well, I'm bringing manufacturing back to America. That's why I'm doing the tariffs. So with the universities, he's going, I don't like the way, you're fighting anti-Semitism. That's a problem. Don't you care about your Jewish students? Your Jewish students are getting harassed, right? He's using them because that is not true. I mean, okay. So when they had the protest about Palestine, there was a problem. Absolutely. However, Harvard, Columbia, and a lot of other big universities are fixing that problem or have worked on how to deal with these protests, how to keep all their kids safe, things of that nature. Trump jumps on the set and he's like, hey, wow, I want to tell you who you can admit into your college. So I need you to ask these certain questions to find out what their beliefs are before you admit them into this college. I also need you to tell me what your curriculum is because it has to be approved. I also need to know who you are hiring because I need to approve that as well. So I want to say that Colombia folded with Trump, which is an issue because you can't make a deal with someone like that because he never keeps his word. So there is no deal making. So you might as well fight him. And that is what Harvard University is doing. It's like one of the oldest universities in America. It may be the oldest university, and it has a lot of money. And I hope that they continue to fight this, like they do not cave in, because once they cave in, God, we're just really going to be in trouble, right? Like, what's left standing if you have law firms capitulating because he's threatening them and saying, well, if you have a case and you have to get into the federal government, we're not going to allow you in. Like, he's doing that kind of thing, like kind of fucking with people's money, right? And he's trying to do that with Harvard because now, not trying to, he's holding their funding. And again, if you cared about the Jewish students, why are you now holding federal funding to Harvard University? Because Harvard University is a teaching school. So Harvard University is on, the letterhead of medical facilities, right? Like, it's not just Harvard, like there's research being done. There's like all that money is being withheld. So that means that those hospitals, medical providers, are not getting money. How does that help Jewish students? Right? Because it's not about that. You heard that guy say, yeah, all the people who have support Biden, they go to the college, right? Like, so they want to destroy college, right? They want everybody like that guy that can't think past his nose. That's what they want, because those people will continue to vote against their best interests. They don't want anyone that can critical think. They don't want anyone to know Black history. Like, they don't want any of that. All they want you to see is them in power, white men. And they'll bring some blonde white women, right? Because that's just like some bait for these white men who continue to vote for Trump. So if you have Bondi on TV every night on Fox News, right, with a blonde hair and makeup on, I don't know what she does at the DOJ. I have no idea, but she's always on Fox News talking, right? And just lying. But she's going to mesmerize those guys, right? That like the blonde woman with the makeup, right? Like, Trump knows what he's doing. Visually pleasing. You're so busy looking at her, you're not even doing critical thinking with the lies that you're ingesting. You're just looking at, oh, wow, she's hot, right? It's just crazy. So Harvard, they are fighting back. I hope they continue to fight back, because if they fight back, that means that maybe other colleges, because they're not going to stop. I think the MIT is fighting back too, because what's happening is, and this is another point, real quick, we're like, he's making America more weak. Like, we're more weak in our military, right? Because now you're not even going to have qualified people join the military. They're just not going to do it. And they don't even want people of color there. So you're just going to have like a whole bunch of crazy ass Confederate MAGAs running around in the military. So we're weak there. They're also using signals. So like every other adversary knows what the hell we're doing anyway. But also, there are not going to be any foreign students that want to chance coming to school in America, because they're going to be looking behind their backs all the time, thinking that this man is going to send them back home, like, and can't even finish schooling. So that means we're going to lose like scientists and researchers and doctors. Like, we are going to be in a hole, because we alone, America alone, is not going to have enough doctors. Like, we're not going to have enough. Like, we're just fucking not. He's not even doing anything to make school affordable. So, like, make it make sense. Like, make it make sense. We're not going to have, you know who's going to have them? They're going to go to Oxford. They're going to go to China. They're going to go to other countries. We're not going to get any of those people who are bringing their brains and their smarts here and bringing their businesses. We are on a lose trajectory. Nothing about this is winning. Nothing about this is winning. It's just getting worse. And I don't know what your brain looks like on the inside if you think that this shit is winning. It's like, what the fuck? You're that racist that you're like, I don't want anyone in this country other than Americans. And it's like, but you're fucking immigrants too. You're not, this is not your country. Like, it's so crazy how like racists will claim rape, pillage, and just claim a place, just like Trump wants to claim Greenland. He wants to take Canada. Like, what the frig? When this man is gone, we are going to be digging out of a hole for a very, very long time. Like this, the quality of our service is going to be horrific. We already lost so many people during the pandemic. So we can't even fill the jobs that we have. So now imagine, now you're sending a workforce away. We're just going to be sending a workforce away that pays into Social Security to keep it solvent. They can't draw from Social Security, but they pay into it to keep it solvent. We're sending those people away too. Like, how is any of this helpful to our country? And on top of that, making all of our allies now our enemies. Like, Putin will be our friend. Putin is not our friend. China, everyone is going to start looking to China now. They're going to buy from China. We, America, are making China more powerful, and we are more weaker because strong doesn't mean like, oh, our economy is doing decent. That's not strong. Strong is the place where everyone wants to go on vacation. Strong is where everybody wants to go to school there. Like, that gives you strength because we have our name. Now our name's mud. People are like, you American, no one's coming here. No one's going to come here. No one's coming here for spring break. No one's going to Disney World. They're like, yeah, fuck you. Businesses are going to collapse. Just watch. I think I'm almost at the end. I do want to quickly talk about Social Security because they not only are they disappearing people to El Salvador, they are apparently deading people. They are using some AI, Doge folks are using some type of AI situation. I don't know, where they're making people dead who are not actually dead. And maybe they're making these people dead so they can go, so Elon can go back and be like, look at these 20,000, 150-year-olds have been collecting Social Security, right? Maybe they're doing that so they can, have that narrative. So they're deading people who are not dead. I just found out, because I never really thought about it, when someone is dead in Social Security's eyes, when they dead you, your credit score goes to 0. Your credit cards are done. You have no more health insurance. You're dead. You could be physically alive, but you have nothing. You can't use anything. You can't use a credit card. You can't apply for a credit card. You're at 0. Your credit is gone. You're no longer exist. And then there are people that they have deaded, and for months these people have been trying to be alive again. this is where we are, and he has the nerve to be firing people. He's just setting it up because he wants to privatize it. Like, I don't know. Again, I have to look at MAGA like, how is anything? So you just be like, because a MAGA said today, because this woman who was an American, I think she's an American doctor, got like an email for her to self-deport, and a MAGA said, "Oh, so what? One mistake, blah, just fix it and move on." It's like, y'all are fucking stupid. Like, fix it and move on. Okay, that's one mistake too many. Also, like, that's happening far too many times because they don't care. And just like the Social Security thing, you just don't care. It's happening more than we know, right? People are suffering privately trying to figure this shit out. Lastly, I think that we have officially become numb to school shootings. It's very strange that there were 2 this week, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. And the headline for today was Trump's fight with the, what's that guy, the Fed chair? Yeah, on interest rates. That was like the headline. Like it was talked about, but kind of barely. Like it was a whole school shooting. And the second one, the first one on Tuesday, I didn't even hear about, right? Like I didn't hear about it. And then today, this one happens. And this one is the sheriff deputy's son took her service revolver, like, and went back to Florida State University, and he's 20 years old and shot people. Like 2 are dead. I guess, is it 6 in the hospital? I may be wrong, including the gunman. I think he was also shot because they told him to put down his weapon and he didn't comply, so he got shot. So just quick tidbit, while this Florida school shooting was happening, Florida lawmakers were trying to get the red flag laws repealed. Like after Parkland, the mass shooting there, they had all these red flags. Apparently, the Republican lawmakers in Florida are like, yeah, we don't need all these red flag laws while a shooting is happening. So they're trying to get rid of, let me get it straight. Did I write it down? I thought I wrote it down. Well, let me try to get from my memory. So they want to repeal the red flag laws. They want to lower the age for a person to purchase a long gun. They also want to add, so right now Florida is permitless concealed carry. So you don't need a permit to carry a gun, concealed carry a gun. You just conceal it. We don't know. We don't care. You don't need a permit. Do what the fuck you want. But they want to make it, because that's not good enough, they want to make it so it's permitless open carry a gun. You just had a school shooting. Like, you gotta love how Republicans care about the families. They love them. So let me just read the chat real quick. Thank you, Michelle and Baby, for showing up. And Eve, I don't know if you're still there. Let's see. If these folks were criminals and the government were going to do the right thing, they would get to the bottom of things. It's true, the government is never going to do the right thing. Congress has bent the knee. We heard Murkowski say today, she's just kind of defeated, and talked about being afraid to say anything because of fear of retribution. Michelle says, I was just coming from Kenmore, and that's the transit, and I saw a group of white men with masks on, and I got nervous because of what happened to the lab at Tufts before. Like, this is kind of crazy. This is the world we live in. You know, I'd be looking side-eyed at people too when I get in the elevator at work. Let's see. I think I saw Baby Juggernaut. North Carolina here, they would still vote for him. That's Baby Juggernaut saying that even though Trump did not approve of extending FEMA benefits, they would still vote for him. I wish they could be in an island by themselves and leave us out of this mess. I wish there was a MAGA island. I wish there was MAGA Kool-Aid. That would help too. Baby Juggernaut says North Carolina was purple too, not red. That pissed his orange ass off. Yeah. I'm not here to be mean, but I know MAGAs, they more connected to their Trump collections than they are to their churches. They idolize him. Well, I'm here to be mean, so I will be mean for you, Baby Juggernaut. Fuck the Trump cult. Like, they're crazy. Like, they don't care about us. I don't care about them. You know, there was a time when I was like, you know, they just don't know, but they do know, and they don't care, because a lot of them are racist bigots and they just don't care. A lot of them, again, they just, it makes them feel better when they shit on the other. Like, they have nothing going for themselves. You know, they're underachievers. So, like, hardworking Haitians, right? They're oh no, they're eating the dogs. They're doing like they're just ridiculous. It's, you know, Brian, my buddy over on the Black and White show, he calls them flying monkeys, and they truly are. So anyway, everyone, it has gotten late. I have been here for a long time. Thank you for rocking and rolling with me. Tomorrow is Friday. So have a good weekend, everyone. Celtics playoff season starts on Sunday. So that's what I will be doing on Sunday. And maybe I will see you guys next Thursday. Not sure yet, but please tune in before you leave. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Michelle and Baby Juggernaut. Appreciate it. And bye, guys. Be safe out there because it's crazy.